Hi friends, this little video is for those of you who couldn't join me for the 3-day Start the School Year Strong Leadership Challenge this summer. And so I wanted to give those of you who wanted to complete the personal leadership plan a chance to do that on your own time. So you won't have the whole mastermind experience being with 15, 16 other students, but that's okay. You will still end with a complete personal leadership plan if you're willing to work on it on your own time. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you through the slides that I presented, and you can feel free to pause this video to fill out the papers and do it at your own pace. And if you finish all 3 videos, all 3 days, congratulations, you will start the school year strong with a personal leadership plan. And if you would like some gentle accountability and some support this school year, then enrollment for the 2022-23 Youth Leadership Mastermind is now open. And it'll be open through August 7th, but I encourage you to sign up by July 31st. So that you get the early bird rate. Okay, so let's get started. I am going to share my screen and we begin with this welcome slide. Okay, I congratulated students for showing up because walking into a Zoom session with new people is not easy. A lot of these students have never been in a mastermind before, so just showing up proves to yourself that you are willing to learn to lead yourself well. You're willing to try new things. You're willing to do something different that you've never done before. A lot of the students, this was their first challenge, and this might be yours too. Yes, Angel is sitting on my chair behind me. She would like to join us for this session. Okay, we just did some introductions. We talked about where you live, what you've done this summer, and everybody put in the chat box a leadership quality that they wanted to possess. Okay, so some people wrote they wanted to be responsible. They wanted to be courageous. They wanted to be dependable, hardworking, focused. So you could, in the corner of your booklet, jot down what leadership quality you want to possess. Okay. Then I distinguished the kind of leadership that we are talking about here. We are not talking about positional leadership. Okay. Positions of leadership are the obvious ones: president, vice president, secretary, worship pastor, youth pastor, team captain. Those are positions of leadership, but we are not talking necessarily about positions of leadership. We're talking about personal leadership, okay, self-leadership. All right, now I want to ask you a question. Do you want to hope for a successful year, or do you want to plan for it? Hope or plan? Everybody put in the chat box what they wanted, hope or plan. Every single student put in plan. And I'm going to assume that you are doing this challenge because you're trying to plan for a good, successful school year. And you're not just going to hope and pray for one. All right, here's a thought. Tomorrow's success is made today. Who you are a year from now is simply a reflection of the choices that you choose to make right now. So, by virtue of you being here doing this challenge all by yourself, that is a huge vote for your own future success this school year, because who you are in June 2023, at the end of the new school year that hasn't even started yet, it's going to simply be a reflection of the choices that you made this school year, beginning with this challenge. All right, you're getting a head start on this challenge. Okay, so here's probably one of your big questions. What is a mastermind? maybe you've never heard of a mastermind before. A mastermind is not a new concept, but it is a new concept for teens. It is a new concept for youth your age. And the reason I wanted to introduce the mastermind to you is because I myself have been a part of several masterminds for adults. And the mastermind has helped me to grow more efficiently, faster than me trying to grow on my own reading a leadership book. To be in a community of other people who all come in with the intention to grow makes all the difference. Okay, so if you want a definition of a mastermind, here it is. A mastermind is a community of intentional leaders who are committed not only to their own growth in leadership, but also to everyone else's growth. How? By contributing your thoughts, ideas, questions, and experiences in your own minds. Together, when you come together, just like illuminating several light bulbs in the same room, you form one bright light, and that is the mastermind. Okay, so the light bulb and a group of light bulbs is the image that I like to use for a mastermind. And the best way to understand and appreciate a mastermind is to experience it. And that's why I had the challenge where students could come together in a community over 3 days with the intent to grow together. And it was successful. They had a great time. All right, so the benefits of a mastermind is belonging to a leadership community, learning personal habits, leadership values and skills, and mindsets. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing over these 3 sessions of creating your personal leadership plan. And then ultimately, you will become a leader who glorifies God. Okay, so the one thing I ask you, and I asked all the students in the challenge to come with, is a teachable attitude. So if you think of a cup of water, a glass of water, I ask you now, and I asked everybody in the challenge to not come with a full glass of water. So come with room at the top so that you have room to learn new concepts, gain new ideas. And if you know that you're a little bit resistant to even doing this challenge, just do me a favor and drink a couple of mouthfuls off the top of your glass, okay, your metaphorical glass, to make room right now to learn something new and believe that God brought you to this challenge in order to give something to you that you actually need and want and will benefit from. Okay, so let me ask you, is there something you would change about you or your life? Now, I realize we have not opened the workbook yet, and that is fine, okay? These are some introductory thoughts that will get your mind in the right place so that when we open the workbook soon, very soon, you will be ready to jump in and to answer those questions well, okay? So wait for it, follow me. I'm getting you into that workbook very soon here. But for now, ask yourself and write it in the corner of your workbook. Is there something you would change about you or your life? Okay. In the challenge, the students actually wrote their answers, typed their answers into the chat box. So just jot it down. Don't think too hard. What would you change about you or your life? Okay, so you might say, I want to be more outgoing. I want to be more responsible. I wish I had more friends. I wish I liked the way I looked. I wish I could accept maybe a particular weakness, right? Or I wish I was better at math. I wish I had a stronger relationship with God. What would you change? Whatever you wrote down, and I am assuming that you don't have a perfect life and you are not the perfect person right now, and that there is room for growth, there is room for improvement. you're in the right place. You are ready for personal leadership development. You're ready to grow in self-leadership. And that is what a mastermind is all about. That is what this challenge is all about. And so what you're getting ready to do here in the workbook over these 3 sessions is self-leadership. You're developing you. You're investing in yourself. Okay. So here's the promise that I made to the students in the challenge. And I want to make this promise to you too, assuming that you will finish the 3 videos over the 3 sessions. By the end of the challenge, you will know the next step that you need to take in order to develop yourself and lead yourself well this upcoming 2022-23 school year. Okay, so that is the big promise of this challenge if you choose to finish it. You will know what you need to work on this year, okay, because God is with you as you think through the questions that is prompted by the personal leadership plan. Okay, so I know that's an ambitious promise, but you will emerge with a plan if you stick to finishing these sessions. Okay, so now we're into the workbook. You can go ahead and grab your workbook and something to write with. And as we jump into the workbook, the thought I want to leave you with is that leadership does not begin with skills. Okay, so skills as in public speaking, event planning, campaigning for a student office, all those, skills like communication skills, those are all good and important. Don't get me wrong. Those are very important, but those will come as you lead yourself to grow as a person, to grow as a leader. If you can learn how to inspire yourself by belonging to a mastermind, belonging to a community of leaders, reading good quality texts, participating in leadership activities. If you grow as a leader, those skills will come to you because you will want to develop leadership skills. You will raise your hand to volunteer when there is an opportunity. Okay, so leadership, I want to encourage you, if you have no experience in leadership, you have never done leadership formally before, that's okay. You're not missing anything. Okay, you're beginning with you here in this challenge, and that is the best place to begin. Okay, you will begin to take opportunities for leadership skill development once you get inspired to pursue your identity as a leader. Okay, and that is my role in this challenge, to inspire you to want to become the best leader you can be for yourself. Okay, so we are going to begin on day 1 with vision. All right, and you are going to have to pause this video to give yourself time to fill out this sheet. During the actual challenge, students wrote in real time and we shared in real time, but because I want to keep these videos shorter than the actual challenge, I'm just going to ask you to pause the video and fill it out and then unpause the video when you're done. Okay, so knowing that personal leadership is about you, developing you as a leader. Here's one way to help you visualize that concept. Okay, so on this page at the top, it says that leadership is influence. Okay, in one word, leadership is influence. If you are influencing other people, you are a leader with or without a position. And when it comes to personal leadership, we're learning how to influence ourselves. Okay, so did you know that you need to learn how to influence you, how to inspire yourself? Okay, so leadership, again, does not begin with skill development. It begins with self-development. So self-development is growing yourself, your own identity, in order to lead your life intentionally. Okay, so just like you said, you wanted to plan your school year and not just hope for a good school year, the same could be said of your life. You, I trust, want to lead your life with intention and not drift through your life without any intention. And you don't want to just go where you're taken. You want to have some say over what you're doing with your life. And so we begin by looking at your life in this wheel. So if you look at the wheel, there are 7 different segments of your life. And it should more or less reflect your real life. Okay, so if we read these segments out loud, we see that there are your friendships. Your life is composed of your physical health, your church life, your family relationships, your prayer life or your devotional life, your academic work, your schoolwork, and also lots of extracurricular activities, right? So your sports, your music, any hobbies. If you're already running a small business, that all goes under extracurricular and recreational activities, okay? And you'll see that around your life is the sovereignty of God, okay? So your life is not just floating around with no boundaries and no foundation. You have the comfort of knowing that God is containing your life in his. All right, in God we live and move and have our being. That is Acts 17:28. And so this is the picture of more or less your life. And so at the bottom, I want you to read this definition of personal leadership. Personal leadership is self-governance. If you think of a governor, right, who has control and rule-making abilities over what happens in the state, you are the one that is responsible for your life. Okay, even though you live under your parents' roof, even though you have to operate within the policies of your school or your church or the different organizations that you're a part of, you are ultimately the one in control and responsible for your own life. And during the challenge, the students there wanted to be in control of their own life. They don't want their mom leading their life for them. I assume you don't want your mom leading your life for you. You don't want dad leading it for you. You don't want your friends leading it for you. You want to lead your own life. You're happier when you're in control and you're the one responsible for your life. So self-governance includes your thoughts. Okay, your self-talk, how you talk to yourself. It includes your beliefs, your desires, your behavior, meaning your actions every day, your attitude, your motivation, your organization, and your productivity. It's basically self-leadership, okay? So we exercise personal leadership in each area of life with or without a position of leadership. Okay, remember, leadership does not equal a leadership position. Personal leadership is you leading you. Okay, so in that blank, you write you leading you. And that's what you're here to do. You're here to learn how to become the best leader for you. Okay, the only other thing on this page is this bottom section. And what you need to do here is think about how you grew this past school year. What were some of the ways that you grew this school year? Okay, so some possible answers are, I grew in my grades. Maybe I raised my history grade, or I raised my math grade, or I made it onto a varsity sports team, or I learned to come into class with a better attitude, or I deepened my faith this past school year. And when I'm asking you to think about 2021-22, it doesn't have to be school related, okay? 2021 to 22 is just to give you a smaller scope of time so that you don't get overwhelmed with, how big your life is. Just think within that past school year, this past school year that just ended, how did I grow in that time frame? And it doesn't have to be school related growth. So then once you think about how you grew, think about the choices that you made that led to that growth. All growth is because you made a good choice. Okay, so let's say you grew in your math grade. You got a better grade in math this year than you did last year. Why is that? You probably studied a little bit harder. You probably focused better. Maybe you sought your teacher's help during office hours. Maybe you stayed after school, or you came in during lunch, or maybe you got a math tutor. Maybe you went to Mathnasium or Kumon or some after school math help center. Let's say you grew in your relationship with God. Why is that? What choices did you make that helped you to grow in your relationship with God? Did you deepen friendships with Christian friends who had Christian influence on your life? Did you go to church more regularly? Did you go to youth group? Did you start to pray more? Did you read your Bible? What were the choices that led to that growth? Okay, so pause this video and just think of at least one way you grew and the choices that led to that growth. Okay, and the point of this exercise is to see that choices lead to growth. Okay, that is the simple point. Okay, I'm going to move on, but you can pause the video. And once you have finished that section, we want to turn the page to the next section. And this page is all about your life and your identity. Okay, so remember, we're still talking about vision in this session. And on the left side, under life, they are 7 different categories, not exactly the 7 segments that were in the Wheel of Life, but basically, they're basically the same segments. Here, I'm going to give you a chance to reflect, okay, to evaluate your Wheel of Life. And what you're going to do is just go through each segment of that wheel and evaluate the health of each of your segments of life on a scale of 1 to 10. So 10 being perfect. My academic work is perfect. I have straight A pluses. Every teacher loves me, and I love every subject in school. Okay. Nobody gave themselves a 10 under academic work in my live challenge. And I'm going to assume that you have room for improvement in your academic work. Okay. But with this particular number 1, academic work, you might rate health in terms of grades, right? A lot of students just look at their grades. And if it was an A, then they're gonna rate it a 9 or 9.5. If they got a C, then maybe they rated they rate this segment as a 5 or 4. Okay, or you could decide that how healthy is your academic work could be interpreted as your learning in that subject. Okay, so did you grow in your appreciation for history, your appreciation for science, your appreciation for math? So you can interpret healthy in whatever way is meaningful to you. Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you that you should rate it according to what grades you got. But if it's more meaningful to you to rate, how much did I enjoy my classes, then rate it that way. Okay, then after you give yourself a score between 1 to 10, think about one way you can improve your academic work. Okay, so it might be just one subject that was causing you grief and trouble this past year. Well, if that's the one that stands out to you right now, how can you improve it? If you rated it a 6, how can you improve that score this school year, this upcoming school year? How can you move it up to a 6.5 or a 7? Okay, so maybe it's, I really need to ask my mom to find me a tutor. I'm really struggling with the writing. I'm really struggling with math. Okay, or maybe it's I need to study for history first. Okay, I really need to stop procrastinating because it's really hurting my attitude and my grade in history. Okay, so think about one way you can improve your academic work. Okay, if it's a general attitude that needs to change, just say, I need to bring a new attitude, a more positive perspective to school every day. Okay, the rest of this is just going through each area that is specified here, your relationship with your parents and your relationship with siblings. That's the second category. The third one is your relationship with your friends. Okay, so evaluate your friendships on a scale of 1 through 10. And how can you improve your friendships next year? Do you need to have deeper conversation with them? Do you need to make more friends? Do you need to develop a friendship with a certain friend? Okay, maybe it's just one friend that really is calling for more of your attention. The fourth segment is your physical health, meaning your diet. What are you consuming for food, for snacks? How would you rate that? The choices that you're making. And then exercise, your physical activity. How would you rate your physical activity, your exercise? And what are ways you can improve what you put into your body and the level of activity that you partake in every day? Okay, I hope this is making sense. You can pause the video and fill in all 7 categories. Okay, and then we can move on to the right side of this page. Okay, so go ahead and pause and take a couple minutes to rate each of these 7 areas of your life and come up with one way to improve each area of your life. Okay, now we are moving to your identity. Okay, so part of your vision is about you as a person. Okay, and session 2 is all about identity. All right, day 2 is all about identity. Today is about vision, but part of vision is your identity. So this section is pretty straightforward. At the top, you just want to write down some adjectives to describe who you want to be this next school year. Okay, so describe the kind of person that you want to be when school starts this school year. I gave you a list of some words you might want to choose from, but you don't have to use these words. You can use any words that come to your mind, okay? But some adjectives that might describe who you want to be this next school year are teachable. Maybe you want to be more teachable. Maybe you want to exercise more creativity. Maybe you feel like you haven't been creative enough. Maybe courageous. Okay, maybe you've been too timid. You've been too afraid to try things. So courageous, maybe adventurous. Okay, again, maybe you need to take some healthy risks that introduce more adventure into your life. Maybe you want to be more respectful. Maybe you know that you've been a little disrespectful to certain people and you want to just cut that out this year. How about forgiving? Maybe you want to be more forgiving this year, not hold grudges, not hold things against people, but you want to let things go more quickly, more easily. Maybe you want to be more empathetic. Maybe you want to put yourself in other people's shoes more often and see life from their perspective. Okay, that's what it means to be empathetic. And then to help them if it's within your ability to actually help people. Or maybe you want to be more hardworking. Maybe you know you've been lazy or tempted to be lazy. Maybe you've been procrastinating way too much. So this year you want to be more hardworking. Maybe purposeful, right? Maybe you've lost your sense of purpose. Like, what is all this for? Why am I studying so hard? Why am I stressing? Maybe you want to come back to, what is the purpose of all of this hard work? Maybe you want to be more ambitious. Maybe you want to raise your standards this year. Some of you struggle with standards that are too high, but some of you maybe struggle with standards that are too low. Okay, so ambitious means you want to do more. Okay, you want to ask more from yourself. The next word is honest. Okay, this has to do with integrity. Maybe you know that you're struggling with integrity and lying or deceiving, and you want to be more honest this year. The last one is consistent. Maybe you're just like very feeling oriented. If you feel like it, you'll do what you need to do. If you don't feel like it, you're not going to execute, and that's inconsistent. And maybe you just want to be more even keeled this year. Okay, so go ahead and put in whatever words come to your mind, and you can add more words than I gave you space for. This is a time for you to envision who you want to be this next school year. And then under this, if you could change one thing about yourself, okay, this is kind of like the slide I showed you earlier. If you could change one thing, what would it be? Maybe you would make a new friend. Maybe you would deepen your friendships. Maybe you will ask teachers for more help. Maybe you would learn a new language or try out for a new sport, right? Maybe it's instead of always doing the same sport, I want to change it and try something else. So this is just an opportunity for you to dream and to ask yourself, yeah, what do I want to change? Knowing that you have the ability to change things in your life because you are the governor of your life. You can pause the video and take as much time as you need to answer that question. Okay, and if you can't answer that question, you don't have to answer it right now. It might, you might want to mull over it a little bit, or you could ask your parents, right, or friend, like, how would you answer this question? Or like, what is the one thing, mom or dad, that you think I should want to change? Okay, let me tell you, they will be happy to talk through this question with you. And the last question on this page is actually really important. This is a transformation statement, a change statement, okay? I would love to transform from what to what. So it could be, I would love to transform from being shy and timid to being outgoing and bold. Okay, why? So that I can make more friends, so that I will be more comfortable talking to people, so that I will respect myself more, so that I will open up more possibilities for myself, more opportunities for myself. It could be, I want to transform from a Sunday Christian, right? A person who feels like they're only Christian when they're at church, to an everyday Christian. Like, I really want to experience God every single day this year. Why? So that I will be more at peace with my identity as a Christian, or so that I will have more integrity as a Christian, so that I will be a more faithful disciple of Jesus. Okay, so this one, I actually gave the students overnight. This was their homework, to come back the next day, day 2, and to share these transformation statements. Okay, so we had great answers. A lot of them wanted to transform from lazy to productive, lazy to hardworking. One girl said she wanted more boldness in her faith when she is with her friends, so that she could be more true to herself. Somebody else said that they want to, go from shy to bold in order to be more comfortable around people. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and fill in that transformation or growth statement. And then we are going to start the session for day 2, the second session of this challenge. And so you can go to that video next, okay? I hope to see you there.